The Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League is in Hillsboro, Wisconsin for another intense round of competition. Kicking off the show are the high-speed, small-sized V8-powered mini rods. Battling in a mid-season points race showdown, the Super Farm Tractor leader Blaine Fraker holds the lead by a mere 10 points. Can the agitator hold off experienced vets Josh Miley, Peter Norton, and Nick Score from gaining on him? Get ready, all the pulling action starts now.
Tractor pulling. The ultimate test of power. Purpose-built vehicles create thousands of horsepower using turbos and superchargers, alcohol fuel, and multi-engine configurations to see who can pull the farthest. A sled weighing thousands of pounds is used to stop the pulling vehicles. A moving weight box progressively adds resistance to end the run. The sled is customized for classes ranging from customized farm tractors to multi-engine modifieds. Teams spend countless hours preparing their machines for competition. Thousands of dollars are spent traveling to events across 10 states, maximizing power and repairing broken parts. The season is long, and the competitors have to maintain focus every pull to compete for a class championship. This is Tractor Pulling with the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League.
Welcome to Hillsboro, Wisconsin. This is the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals presented by Wyotech. We're at Hillsboro Fireman's Park. Ken Stout and Leslie Mears to call the action for you, and a couple of different categories, or I should say at least one different category here that will be featured today. We look forward to all the great pulling action, but we're going to kick things off with something we've never seen, or at least other than the highlights, as far as classes go. Let's talk about the mini rods. They are exciting. And Leslie, the best way I can describe this to somebody is imagine taking a supercharged V8 and putting it on the front of your lawnmower.
Yeah, this is crazy out here. 2,050 pounds is all this machine weighs. And you can see we've got Jules Rikers and Jokers Wild, and she's going to kick off the class. And she pedals it at the end.
How about a couple, 2, 3 times? And that's exactly why we love this category. It's a beautiful machine. 3:02 and 49 is the distance to get things started here. A huge tire on the back of these things. 1471 blower at 45% overdriven. And these things make some steam upwards of 2,000 horsepower.
And of course, that's once they get to full song. And you can see that it was full throttle early and then pedaling at the end. Perhaps maybe looking to get a little bit extra grip there at the end by taking some horsepower out of it.
All right, here's a look at the pulling order. And as you can see, Jules kicked things off. And then Max Smith, who actually competes on a couple of different tractors, will go back to back. So not what he was hoping for. He'd like a little bit of time in between the two so he can make some adjustments. But he's only going to have time to get back to the next one and make it happen again. And we'll continue on here talking about Max Smith because Cratch Gladys had a chance to speak with Max a little bit earlier today.
Well, guys, Mac has 2 mini rods to drive today in this event, and you've been up there at the track looking at the conditions. What are you learning? Because this is a pretty bitey track. At least it's been known in the past to be that way, and you guys are pretty lightweight. How are you going to set up for this?
Well, first of all, the scale late is possibly a little bit light tonight, so that's some concern to have our full control out here without weight on the front. I was just telling my son here tonight, looking at that track a minute ago, this could be one of the best tracks we've been on in years. I lowered my hitch slightly, and I'm going to take off a little bit easier and watch the first couple tractors out here. But at the same token, we didn't come up here for the cheese curds. We're going to give it everything we got.
Anything different in your setup between the 2 tractors?
Yeah, slightly. Mine's set up probably a little bit stronger than the first one here, but we're going to, take this one here and see what happens and jump in that one. If we can make a few improvements between tractors, we will.
He spoke of the weight, and that's crucial. When you only weigh 2,050 pounds and you've got to throw 100 pounds off, that's huge.
This one's called the Hawkeye Hustler. His other tractor is called the Hawkeye Hemi. 290 and 54 is some 12 feet short of what he was hoping for.
and he said he was going to be a little bit more conservative with this first machine. Now he'll have just a little bit of time to make some changes to his second one, but a nice straight pass here. Check out that open rear end, and you can see just how those rear tires are just kind of bouncing back and forth as they hook and unhook to the track. We're talking about an 18.5 by 16-inch tire, and they can have no more than 10 pounds of air, but normally the competitors are running somewhere about 1.5 to 3.5 pounds inside those tires. That's not a lot of pressure.
Take a look at the points coming in here after 2 pulls, and you'll see that it is Tyler Slaw holding both first and second place down, virtually tied up 92 points apiece for both tractors. And then, of course, Max Smith, who we just saw with the Hawkeye Hustler, picked up a win at Henry, our season opener for the category. Here comes Max once again, this time the Hawkeye Hemi. Oh, look at it carry that front end perfectly. Look at the ground speed as well. Looks like a great effort. Went off to the left a bit and then to the right and goes 3:06 and 70, takes over the lead.
What a great pass here for Max Smith. And though I saw he had some failure at the end there, he's lots of fluid on the ground. And you can see as soon as this tractor gets a hold of the track, he's hooked up hard. And look, just a little bit of brake right there as he brings it back around away from that sideline, keeps it nice and in the center of the track where he feels the good grip is.
Oh, yeah, plenty of blow-by out of that one as well. He definitely put it through its paces. And a beautiful effort, and it pays off as he goes to the top of the leaderboard. Plenty of great tractors left, though, in the mini rod category. Up next will be the Mini Nomo.
Kayla Klevgard coming to us here, and she's had kind of a tumultuous season, took a wild ride in Goshen. We saw her in the highlights of that show. So she's just hoping to make sure that she can keep it steady and straight down the track. Both those tires hooked up at the same time.
Oh, and the front end way up in the air. I think probably just a tick too high. Might have been unloading the rear tires. And then the slow start, I think, really cost her. She was spinning the tires, but a lot of times we'll see those guys just let them eat. And eventually, whenever they do hook up, they'll get some good ground speed out of it. So not what she was hoping for, but we'll take a look at our top 3. Max Smith now bookending Jules Reichers. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
The Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League is brought to you by E3 Spark Plugs, born to burn. General Tire, anywhere is possible. And by Geico, saving people money on more than just car insurance.
Once again, we welcome you back here to Hillsboro, Wisconsin in the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals presented by Wyotech. We are covering the mini rods in its entirety for the first time here on the telecast, and these tractors are absolutely a hoot to watch. And Joe Hill, I love the name of the tractor, Psycho Fit, and he comes out and goes 282 and 63. Not enough to jump up into that top 3.
The whole shot is very important for our mini rod tractors, and just see how those back tires squat down and hook up. and he was a little slow on the throttle. You could see he walked it out of the hole before he went to full song on the track, and then just never really got the front end up. It's just dangling on the dirt. He needs it up just about 6 more inches to get that perfect displacement of weight into the rear tires.
And we say a little slow on the throttle. I mean, it's easy for us to sit up here and take a look at it, but you can't just go full throttle on them, because when they're spinning the tire like that, you'll easily overrev the power plant, could damage some parts and pieces. So it is quite a dance for these drivers to come out here and do what they do, but that's why we have a competition.
Lucas Burns, the vehicle here called Little Disaster. And here's something that's really cool about these machines as well. They go actually about 35 miles an hour, but we're talking about wheel speeds right around 150 miles an hour. That's how hard they're turning.
Boy, and the front end up and digging hard. It finally loaded those rear tires and started going somewhere. 288 and 44 will get him up into the top 5, but it was a perfect example of when we talk about the rear tires unloading. If you listen to the RPMs, when it goes very high, you'll hear those RPMs escalate as well. Right there.
And just letting it float off to the right-hand side. He'd already tapped the brake just a little bit, but wanted to leg out some more distance after he even heard that unload in there in the middle, and so just trying to stretch it out as far as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is once you're out there, so you got to do the best you can do. You can see how he was squatted down in that tractor as well, with his knees way up high. And sitting much more vertically will be our next competitor, Nathan Hoffman, coming up. And this one's called Cornfused. So and it looks like it's going to be tough to get out there at that 300-foot mark. A number of them now landing up in there at just short of 290.
Everyone's staying, though, pretty much in the center of the track, their chosen position here to place the sled. And, you know, I'm sure everyone's noticed at home, too, that we've got a mini version of our sled, too. This is a much smaller version, scaled-down version for these mini rod tractors to pull.
And we're seeing some tractors that we typically don't see even in this category that compete on the points tour. Up next, Drake Griffith. It's called Overdraft. And you got to love the effort of turning the steering wheel, even though that front end's not on the ground. But 307 and 15, it wasn't on the ground by design. Back tires planted, digging hard, and we have a new leader.
Starts out in the center, but then check it out, the front end way up in the air, and then it kind of sits down, and he does a great job, just a little bit of brake to bring it back over to the center off the left-hand sideline, and just lets it float over there and just lets it eat. Just a great job here by our driver.
Yeah, that was really a good effort. No question about that. So by less than 6 inches, we have a new leader, by the way. So this field and this category very, very tight. All right, up next will be the Bobcat Jr. Driver is Barry Bohr. And a little bit earlier today, Crash Gladys spoke with him.
Well, guys, playing spoiler tonight is Barry Bohr, and he's over here all the way from the Netherlands. Why pull in the United States when you've got a great country in the Netherlands?
Yeah, it's great to pull here because you get better tractors here, and it's a different country, so you have different tracks, different people, and that's what I like about it. And we have some good friends here, and we built a Mini, we shipped it over here, and that's why we're driving here.
Okay, then why Bill Leichner and his crew? Come on, you don't want to get hooked up with that madman.
Yeah, he's a crazy old man, and that's why we like him. We has good friends with us. He has the same hobby, and he loves also tractor pulling and fun with his friends, and we loved it also. So he comes to our country. He drove our mod tractor in the Netherlands, and now I'm here to drive the Mini. He drove it 2 weeks ago in Goshen, and he did a great job at the second place.
Well, I think he did all right teaming up with the multi-time champ here in the States. And so Leichner took a win in the Netherlands, and so he's going to see if he can't help Barry get a win here at Hillsboro.
But I'm going to tell you something. Hats off to Barry because he can definitely drive one of these things. 317 and 38 is a huge number. More importantly, he softly worked that right brake to bring that thing back over, and he did a spectacular job in driving.
Full throttle right almost off the line, like the 50-foot mark. And look at this, how he brings it back around so artfully. And it all happens so fast. You know, that's probably the fastest run that we've seen of the night. And so it's all about getting those tires hooked up hard and fast and getting your momentum going down the track.
Takes the lead by 10 feet. That is putting it on the gang for sure. He'll jump to the top of our top three, but we're not finished yet. We have a few more to go here in the mini rod category. Stay with us. We'll find out who's going to win it. Welcome back to the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals here, presented by WyoTech. We're in Hillsboro, Wisconsin, and Timmerman's coming up next. This is Chad Timmerman, and the tractor's called Wildfire. The mark to beat 317 and 38. Beautiful effort, and I'll tell you, this track seems to be getting better, or they're watching and learning. Either case, 305 and 34 won't be enough to get into the top three, but safely into the top five.
It was amazing. Watch the right hand, and you can barely see it. Right off the line, bam, full throttle. And he just stiff arms it right out there to get that speed up that he's going to need to pull the sled. Just a different driving style than we've seen from most of the other guys in the category here who are trying to walk it out of the hole a little bit. He's just getting it after it right away and just trying to get those tires to hook up to the ground immediately.
So Timmerman doing a nice job as we continue on here with the category. Up next will be Tim Stuckey. And the name of the tractor, I love this one. It certainly applies to all guys in motorsports that are married. It's called the Mistress. They often wonder about us and why we do what we do. Certainly an appropriate name. Boy, very controlled start. And I think actually maxed out, not necessarily the power plant to come out here and compete. Take a look at that. It looks like a small block to me. And keep in mind, these guys are allowed to run up to 575 cubic inches. So this is a little small block Chevy that's trying to hang with the big dogs.
And you can see he went full throttle early on. And, you know, some tracks, though, being a little bit under power is an advantage because when you are even on horsepower to weight ratio out there, it does make it very hard to control. So if you're a little under power, you can maybe hook up to the track a little bit easier than some others where those guys with a little more power maybe blow the tires off.
And you just never know. I mean, you got to come out and have some fun and take a crack at it. All right, Ross Herr will be our next competitor here. You can see them getting that thing fired up. Crash Gladys, once again, was busy earlier today, and she spoke with him.
Well, rumor on the street right now is Ross Herr is this hired gun for Bruce this weekend, but you have a mini mod. You know how to drive these things, right?
I do have one. I've been driving them for a few years now, so I think I know what I'm doing.
Why is yours not out this year, however?
I just haven't had time to put it together. Farming's been a lot more farming this year, so just haven't got around to putting it together this year yet. So I'm going to set a year out and see what happens next year.
That's a good problem to have, though. When the money-making business is doing really well, you want to keep it right there.
Yeah, that's the focus point.
Well, he says he's been driving mini rods for a few years. He's a 35-year puller with 14 years experience in the class, so we can just go ahead and call him the hired gun that he is. Look at that.
Yeah, man, that's how you get it done for sure. And a big number up on the board, 3:15 and 16. That's enough for second place. Beautiful job there. That thing at full song was singing.
Not the wild run that we had by Boer out here, but look at this, very textbook. Right off the line, lifts the front end, carries it, keeps it straight all the way down the track, and just nice quality effort there by the team from Michigan.
That sassy prepared power plant, that big Hemi, just making brutal horsepower as we come up to our final tractor in the category. It's called Stress Relief, and we'll find out if, in fact, Barry can hang on for the win here with 1 to go.
Should also mention Ross Hur there driving for Tyler Slaw, who's the one that will get the points in the race here if he does end up on second on the podium in this TS Performance Silver Series event.
Yeah, Tyler has 2 tractors. We talked about him doing well on the points with both of them. Have No Mercy Red and Show No Mercy Orange. Right over there by the out of bounds line, but somehow keeps it in and goes 299 and 97, and that'll make Barry Bohr our winner. Very exciting class, and we're really glad we had an opportunity to cover these guys. So let's get it down to the podium and crash Gladys.
How about flying thousands of miles to come over to American soil and take the trophy away from everybody else? That's how you do it, huh?
Yeah, that's how we do it, yeah. I step in the plane, step out, make the track ready, drove it on the track and win. That's a great feeling. And I'm very happy, and it's my first win here in America. And I didn't do it without the Durslinger team. They helped me very good. And Bill put the sleds in the start, and he put it to the left. I had to brake a lot, but it was a good spot to start. I make a lot of speed, and it's a big advantage that I have him with me, and he helps me a lot. And I like it, so and we did it together, so it's a team job.
Just great stuff as we take a look at our results here. Tyler Slaw gaining those points that he needed by having Ross Hur drive for him in the Have No Mercy machine. Max Smith, though, getting up there in 4th. Drake Griffith in 3rd there as well as we head back to the podium for 2nd place.
Well, at 315 feet, Ross thought he had it. Oh, just that close.
That close, yeah. It was a nice pass, came up great, hooked great, went straight as an arrow. I couldn't ask for much more out of it.
And you got that itch taken care of.
Yeah, it did. It felt really good.
Oh, yeah, the ringer doing what he was supposed to do, and that's put it up on the podium. There's a look at the points, and you can see it is very, very tight after the first 3 events completed. Once again, let's get it back to the podium and talk to Drake Griffith.
Pulling 307 feet in 3rd place, what did it take to get you that far to separate yourself from the field?
It's all about tire pressure, weight transfer. It's all about the setup. Sometimes I'm a little underpowered compared to some of these guys, but it's just if you have the right setup and you know how to drive it, you can get up there.
Tonight you had the right one.
Yeah, it was good. It was a fun run. I enjoyed it.
All right, coming up next will be the Super Farm category. They'll look like old school tractors, but they'll tug hard and blow out that black smoke. Stay with us. right, John Deere Green is going to kick off the category here at the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals presented by WyoTech. Welcome to the Super Farm category. And Leslie, as you well know, this is a vicious class.
So many different winners already over the course of the season, and these guys are in the heart of it, trying to chase down that championship.
Tugs at RPMs down right at the very end. The perfect storm goes 311.05. It is a tough tractor to say the least. 3 top 3s so far this season, including a couple of wins, and off to a great start here. I can't imagine he turns this one down.
5 weights in the box there, an extra 10,000 pounds on the 36,000 pound sled. So we're 46,000 pounds of dead weight on that starting line that's going to roll out there and be closer once they get to the end there to about 175,000 pounds of rolling weight. So we're talking in excess of 2 fully loaded semi-tractor trailers going down the highway is what these guys are pulling.
Okay, we take a look at our pulling order. As you can see, Michael Snepp at the top of the list there with the perfect storm, and then the rest will follow down through there. And a championship definitely in the works here for this season. There's a lot of pulls for these guys, and 6 of them completed so far, as we're really about the midway point of the season.
And this is where things start to get hot and heavy. We've got 2 hooks up here in Hillsboro this weekend, and then everything happens in a hurry. So the season will end in a matter of about 3 weeks.
Viagra King is the name of the tractor, and 3:02 and 52 is the distance right there for Aaron.
Aaron Geisler, a guy coming to us from our Badger State Tractor Pullers, as we take a look at the standings so far. Blaine Fraker, the agitator, up top by 10 points. That's 5 places as Josh Miley is hunting them down in high maintenance. And Peter Norton and Michael Snepp, we're seeing Michael tonight here in the perfect storm in a close 3rd place. But with 6 events remaining, those points are really nil as close as they are.
Yeah, a lot of pulling yet to go here to win a championship. You cannot let up.
Steve Friedemann brings the Pale Rider to the track here in his home state of Wisconsin.
Oh, man, and that thing starts to hop right at the very end, the front end up and down. He's been on the podium a couple of times this year, including at our last event at the Indy Super Bowl and the season opener. But, boy, I'll tell you, he really struggled there. He just kind of missed the setup with the weight, it looks like.
Well, here's his teammate now, Nick Score, the screaming Norwegian. And he's really making a hard charge here as we go back to the Indy Super Bowl, that midpoint of the season, round 6. And he just storms off the line with a nice straight pass to blow past everyone and put himself on top of the podium. And that really helped him in the points chase. I believe it moved him 2 points up in the race, and he's really chasing after a 3rd championship.
A good look at the foot-activated brake pedals, individual brakes for the rear wheels. Yeah, 2 wins and 3 podiums, but he's had some highs and lows this year for sure. 3, 10, and 10 is going to be one of those highs, though. That'll get him up there into 2nd place. A beautiful effort there out of Nick Score.
And you can see him looking around that huge stack to get a good line on the track to see exactly where he is. A little lift to the front end early, but maybe a little heavy with that 9,300-pound weight distribution. Maybe moved a couple weights back. He can leg it out just a bit further. Just one of the variables, those that these Super Farm guys can use to help them gain more distance is moving around. They've probably got about 1,500 pounds of movable weight out there, and they can put it wherever they can.
Our next competitor is going to be Brent Weber. Brent Weber driving a tractor called Never Say Never, and Crash spoke with him.
Well, there is a story behind the name Never Say Never, and Brett, I want to hear this story. How did you get this name?
Well, I was working on it in 2003. It was for a smaller hot farm class, and they ended up doing away with the class, and Josh was already in Super Farm, so I said, well, I might as well build a Super Farm and just go when you go, because I'm win all the time anyway. And I mean, it sat in the shop forever, you know, just working on it at times when you could. And the guy said, man, you'll never get that done. I said, oh, yeah, you got to watch what you say. You know, never's a long time. And different people would come and go. And you ever going to get that done? You're never going to get that done. That's what they kept telling me. So I thought, man, you know, and I got seen a Wile E. Coyote cartoon, and they were singing that song. And so I thought, man, that'd be a good name. I'll get the Coyote and paint that on there. And it worked out. And they were surprised when I finally did get it done.
And it took him 10 years to get it out on the track. So from 2003 to 2013, the Never Say Never machine was a work in progress.
A beautiful machine as well, the Farmall. And kind of misses the mark a little bit with the International Harvester Farmall machine at 289 and 76. Nonetheless, had a great time, came out here, got a little bit of dirt on that tractor. Michael Snepp up top, followed by Nick Score, and then Aaron Getzel. We'll be back.
The Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League is brought to you by Speedco Truck Lube and Tires. Built for speed, staffed for quality, delivering world-class value. Optima Batteries, the ultimate power source. And by Wyotech. Enroll today. Turn pro at Wyotech.
Beautifully red painted tractor here at the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals, presented by Wyotech, and that is Dan Viney. The tractor's called Crank It Up, as we watch another one of the internationals try to jump up front.
It's a little wild and hoppy on this ride.
When it really tugged it down, too, down out of the RPM band, it would appear, until, of course, you look at the number, and then the 309 pops up, and guess what, man? I mean, that's a serious effort, jumps up into the top three.
And just quality. And this Viney team out of Wisconsin, you know, they've kind of been the spoilers this year. You know, they jump on the podium, you know, in a lot of different places with us on the tour, and they're not even in the points chase. And so they're kind of out here. I think they're kind of feeling things out to see if they want to come run the full Champions Tour circuit next year. And, you know, that's what a lot of our, you know, local guys, as far as the Wisconsin Badger State Tractor Pullers Association, do. They come out here to Hillsboro. It's a close event for them, and they see how they compare against the big guys.
Certainly did a good job as it stands right now, safely inside of the top 5 and currently inside of the top 3. Well, Crash Gladys spoke with Mac Darnell earlier.
Look who's behind the wheel this weekend. It's Mac Darnell driving the tractor, and it's been Brooke, it's been Clay, it's been you. Talk about this passing the torch thing, and does that make you feel good, or are you a little sad that it's kind of going off to the next generation?
Oh, no, it makes us feel good. You know, this is a family sport, and I have more pride in watching my kids run both tractors, and I'm being able to stay back on the sidelines and get things set up. So it just makes you feel good when they make a good pass and when they do well.
When do you feel like you're in their face a little too much, telling them what to do, and when you need to back off?
Well, all the time. We're always trying to get them to drive a little bit better, and you know, trying to explain what their mistakes are. But other than that, both kids do a very good job. You know, I'm very proud of both of them. You know, hopefully good things will come in the future.
Well, he's already done a great job, because we know that Clay won that championship back in 2012 under the tutelage of his father.
.292 and 19 will be the distance here for the Red Scorpion. And it looks like it's going to be a pretty tough field here tonight. You have to be on your game to get up there with the leaders.
It's interesting, too, Darnell putting that over on the left sideline where we saw our mini rods have some success, but our leader so far right dead center in the track.
All right, up next, Bleeding Green's the name of the tractor. Typically David Smith back, but Tonight it's going to be Jay.
Lots of speed on this run.
Love the name of the tractor as well. That's awesome, and a really solid effort out here. 3:13 and 48. That is good enough to take the lead.
Put the sled dead center, as you can see here, but check out the power that he gets and the hookup that he gets. You saw some sparks fly from the clutch there as well, but picks the front end up early and keeps all that momentum going forward. And you can see that General Tire box topping off at the very end, probably about the 290 mark here on our Super Farm tractors on this particular sled setup. But he just lugs and chugs on out there. Just a great job here by the Smithback team.
Yeah, really nice effort, man. That's going to be a big number to get out and surpass to pick up the win here tonight. Jeremy Roberts is going to give it a shot, though. Wicked Whitetail is the next in line. He's had a reasonably tough year, and it's not going to get a whole lot better here. 300.09 gets him out past a whole bunch of tractors, but not up there with the leaders.
About the 225 mark, he started to run into some problems there and got some hops, and just unloading and reloading those tires just so detrimental to the run out there. And if you can drive around that spot in the track and you can keep it smooth sailing out the end, that's what you got to do.
It's called Just Another Buck, of course, making reference to the John Deere. Driver behind the wheel, Brandon Coates. And a beautiful distance out of him, right up there in the hunt. 3:10 and 66.
These Wisconsin tractors are just so tough, and you can see that he's also moving a lot of really good air. As you can see, that big plume of black diesel smoke. It's very nice and tight and narrow coming out of the stack. And so just moving the air through that 3-inch turbo. That's all these guys have. You know, they're creating so much horsepower, like right around 1,500 horsepower with just a 3x3 turbo. It's pretty amazing.
Good enough to sneak him into third place around Nick's score by 6 inches. The course is clear. Green flag flying for the next international in line, and that's Clay Darnell, Maximum Overdrive. He bounces the front end up and down pretty violently right at the very end of the effort. 3:04 and 46.
And you can see these guys very light on the nose, only about 550 pounds out front. They could need to move a little bit back if they want some more traction. But Jay Smithback, your leader so far with a few to go.
It's a beautiful night here in Hillsboro, Wisconsin for tractor and truck pulling. This is the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals presented by WyoTech. Up next, Josh Miley. Second in the points with a high maintenance tractor. 3 podiums, 5 top 5s in the first 6 pulls. He is having a great season.
And he ran into that same troublesome spot on the track that we've seen plague so many of our other pullers as he goes 3:06 and 23.
Yeah, he knows how critical this is. I mean, he has to keep Blaine Fraker within reach if he's going to have a shot at this championship. He can't lay up short now.
The man who promotes this pull where all the proceeds go to charity. Don Slama's a very, very busy man on the weekend, so the Fast and Furious machine kind of the last thing on his mind.
Don with one podium on the season so far, comes out and does a nice job as well. 3:07 and 21, and that hikes him up in there in the battle for sure in the top 5.
And, he's got to be happy with that, especially since he's been running around so much today, taking care of everything else to make sure that we've got a great, successful event here. You can hear Tad Ingram spooling up the natural disaster. I just love to watch that pipe and see it come to life. You saw just a little bit of flame out of the stack.
Tad, who grabbed a podium spot, third place back at Fairfield earlier in the year, 3:10 and 60. Another beautiful effort here. And well, I'll tell you, man, there's a bunch of tractors closing right in there in that 3:10 area. We've had 3:10.10, 3:10.60, and 3:10.66. Misses the top 3 by a fraction of an inch.
Just a tribute to the competitors in this class and how close the competition is. With this class, probably more so than any, the specs of the tractor, everybody's got pretty much the same P pump. Everybody's at 640 cubic inches. Everybody's running that same 3.3 turbo out here, but then it comes down to the driver, and it just goes to show what great drivers and veterans we have in this category when so many of them are so close.
Here comes the man. What a great season he's having as well. Blaine Fraker, our points leader, on board the Agitator. 4 podium finishes in the first 6 events and has kept that thing in the top 5 at every pull.
Taking a chance over there on that right sideline.
Well, and it pays off to some degree. Most importantly, at 3:09 and 54, it gets him out past Josh Miley.
And that's what he's got to do. He's got to stay ahead of Josh Miley. He's not going to get out past Michael Snepp in the perfect storm, who is chasing him down as well. But this solid effort right here is what wins championships. And this is what he's got to do at the time. He's got to just stay up there, top 5-ish. He's going to be outside of that tonight, but he's got to stay ahead of those guys, and he's got to stay consistent.
Yeah, it's a good call. So Michael Snepp still looking at him, will close the gap a little bit, as will Nick Score on the Screaming Norwegian. Both of those having a little bit better effort here tonight. You get a little bit closer to the points leader.
This will be the other half of the Viney team from Wisconsin. This time, Jason Viney. This one called All Cranked Up.
Well, it might not have been the prettiest looking effort, but look at the number on the board, 3:13 and 24, and he misses a lead by less than 3 inches.
It's just amazing. He really carried the front end well till about half track, and then it came down, and he had to lift it back up. And so you can see his whole shot is very, very good. As he stiff arms, it goes full throttle right away. A little bit high on the launch, but look how nicely it carried. Then it kind of bobbles up and down, but he's got so much speed built up by this point that he's just going to chug right on past those hops that have been plaguing everyone else out there and sucking out their distances. And so that's what's going to propel him to that number 2 spot, is just a lot of ground speed, staying in that throttle early and able to carry the front end half track.
All right, our current leader is Jay Smithbat, and 1 tractor yet to go.
The Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League has been brought to you by Ion Camera, the lightest, fastest, fully waterproof HD action camera on the market. Speedco Truck Lube and Tires, built for speed, staffed for quality, delivering world-class value. And by Lucas Oil, made in America, sold to the world.
One tractor yet to go here in the Super Farm category at the Napa Pro Pulling Nationals presented by Wyotech, and it's Chuck Guntherberg. Positive Ground is the name of the tractor. International is going to try to steal it all. It's a beautiful machine. He does a solid job here, but not enough to take the win.
So 304 and 47, very respectable to end the class here for the International. But tonight, the win's going to belong to Jay Smithback.
Home state Wisconsin winner, and by, oh, get this, 2.5 tenths of a foot. That's calling it a little too close.
Yeah, you come up here and run against the best of the best, and you got to worry about your neighbors.
Yeah, what's up with that? Come on, but at least you ended up on the winning side.
Yeah, we got a pretty tight-knit, good tractors down our way, and we showcased them tonight.
One thing, your dad's name is still on the tractor. How do we get your name on, Mr. Winner?
I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. We'll have to take that up with supervisors, I guess.
All right, go celebrate this win.
All right, thank you very much.
And you can see another Wisconsin tractor, Jason Viney, going to take second place and all cranked up. And Michael Snepp rounding out the top three there in the perfect storm in this amazing field of tractors here at Hillsboro. Back down to the podium for second place.
Well, Jason Viney has a second place this year, and that's one up from last year. You got to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit happier in the third place. I'll take that any day.
What was different from last year to now?
Really not much. We don't change a whole lot from year to year, and I don't know.
I guess if it's resulting in podiums, you don't have to change much, right? You're happy with the setup that you have.
That's correct. We didn't really change much tonight from what we usually do, and didn't really change any gears or anything, and just waited it right, I guess, to do it.
From last year to tonight, you went from third to second, so don't change anything because that automatically means you're going to get first tomorrow.
I hope you're right when you say that.
Just go get them.
I'll try.
All right, here's a look at the points. Take a look at that, man. Tied up in second place now. The perfect storm. Michael Snepp able to jump up there with this good effort tonight and locks up in a tie with Josh Miley. Let's go back down to the podium and talk to Michael Snepp.
Well, Michael Snepp goes out first of the night and still manages the podium. How did this happen? Because it seemed like the track might have come around for some guys.
I don't know. I think the track pretty well stayed consistent all night. I mean, we made the best shot we could make. I looked at Peter and told him to make the call, and he said keep it, so that's what we did.
Were you sweating it out a bit?
Oh, yeah. I told somebody as the class was going on that I think I lost 5 years of my life tonight. So, but, I mean, had a heck of a class, and we're tickled with third, so.
And of course, if you want to get exclusive video highlights and see where we're going to be next, make sure you go over to propulling.com. You can also see where those points are playing out throughout the season. Of course, we want you to hit us up on social media at ProPulling on Twitter and Lucas Oil Pulling League on Facebook.
Let's go, guys. Let's have some fun on the web. All right, hope you enjoyed all the great pulling action out here at Hillsboro. We certainly thank Don Slama and, of course, the Mini Rods and Super Farm Tractors for putting on a show for us. Special thanks to Crash Gladys, of course, and my colleague Leslie Mears. I'm Ken Stout. Thanks for watching the Lucas Oil Pro Pulling League.